raise your hands, please, so we can recognize. Anyone first time coming? Okay. Where? Got one.
Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Janavallabha Kirpatari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Kirpatari Sodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Kirpatari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Kirpatari Yashodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajadana Ranjana Gudatira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Devamrita Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnu Bhams of Baladev Guitar Stotes the Sisi Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasika for Prabhupada Ki Gaura Premanandi. Om Agana Timirandas Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're in the midst of a very bhakti-saturated time of the year. June Yatra, the swing ceremony for Krishna has just ended. And yesterday we celebrated Sri Balaram Jayanti, the appearance of Lord Balaram. Soon is coming Sri Krishna Janmashtami, the appearance of Lord Krishna. The appearance day of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And 2 weeks or so later is Sri Radhashtami. I saw that not everyone here was present last night. In fact, only a few were present last night. We discussed yesterday Balaram Katha. The fact is, even if I would repeat the same Lila that I spoke about last night, we would never get to the bottom of it. This point is established right in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vayamchana Prachipyama Uchama Shloka Vikraman Yash Srinvatam Rasagyana Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. The sages at Naimishranya told Sutta Goswami, we never get tired of hearing the glories of Krishna. Those who actually understand rasa, the loving exchanges between the Lord and His devotee, they know how to relish the nectar at every step. Swadu, swadu, pade. So we aspire for that reality, the real status of life. As stated in the 10th canto, when you perceive the glories of the Lord as newer and newer at every moment, then you actually know you're making spiritual advancement. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, as Shukadeva Goswami began to unfold the Lord's Leelas, he was worried. Maybe Parikshit Maharaj is thirsty. Maybe I should stop. But Parikshit Maharaj And another anxiety. No, no, no. Once before I got thirsty, and you know what happened. I wrapped that dead snake around the shoulders of the Brahmana, and as a result, his son cursed me. Which is all well and good because I'm ready to go back to Godhead. I know it's Krishna's desire. You see, Parikshit Maharaj had to vacate the world, otherwise there could be no Kali Yuga. And Parikshit Maharaj knew that it's the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that those crazy souls who want to experience Kali Yuga have their chance. And it can't happen as long as Parikshit Maharaj is there. So he knew he had to exit, and it was also his opportunity to go back to God. So he didn't want Shukadeva Goswami to stop narrating the Krishna Lila. Don't worry about my thirst. I am refreshing myself just by drinking up the glories of the Lord's Lila, the Lord's pastimes. So we want to make progress towards that goal. We never can hear enough Bhagavad Gita. We can never hear enough of Krishna's pastimes. We can hear it again and again. As Krishna himself explains at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita explains, it's a thrill every moment hearing about Krishna. So yesterday we discussed the teamwork between Krishna and Balaram. How Mother Yashoda and Rohini had to scheme in order to get Krishna and Balaram to come home from us. And we also discussed the teamwork between Krishna and Balaram in getting rid of Vatsasura. Krishna knew, who is this that has mingled with our herd of calves? He knew this is a demon. And he signaled to Balaram. You know what's going on, Balaram. We'll take care of it. That same teamwork was there when dealing with Dhenukasura, the ass demon. Briefly, we want to highlight the teamwork today, and we'll go into another pastime where Lord Balaram is prominent. In killing Dhenukasura, the cowherd boys agitated Krishna and Balaram, seemingly because they wanted to taste the fruits in the Talavan forest. But actually they wanted their lordships to enjoy. They knew how to rile up Balaram. They described the demon guarding the forest as being very strong. They knew that would make Balaram angry. And they knew how to rile up Krishna, because they're all cowherd boys. They're all friends. They told Krishna, not only is this demon very strong, but he's a donkey. They knew that would make Krishna laugh. Oh, I gotta see this. I gotta deal with this. This is funny. A very strong donkey demon. When Krishna and Balaram actually encountered Dhenukasura, Balaram, as you know, dispatched him. We went into the details yesterday. Today we want to go into the details of another Lila. So briefly, I'm just highlighting the teamwork. After Balaram finished off Dhenukasura by whirling him around and throwing him into the trees, all of Dhenukasura's teammates attacked. They decided, we'll avoid Balaram and we'll go for Krishna. We've seen Balaram's prowess. Maybe the other brother, he's a more suitable target. So they tried to attack it that way. Or, as you pointed out yesterday, Krishna stepped in front of Balaram and took the brunt of the attack. In any case, these two brothers are so close. Their teamwork is unparalleled. And you can see that when it comes time for dealing with Pralambari. But first, let's get a glimpse of Vrindavan at that time. The Lila dealing with Pralambari happened just after the whole Kaliya affair in the lake, the poison lake. The Brijvasis spent that night on the bank of the Jamuna because it was late. And you know how a forest fire came and Krishna had to deal with that. Then they finally, the next day, made their way back to Vrindavan. It's time for another set of Krishna's pastimes. In these pastimes, Balaram plays a supplementary role, assistant. If you know anything about Nectar devotion, Balaram's relationship with Krishna is Sakyaras, friendship with some strands of servitorship and parental love. So keep that in mind as you hear these forest pastimes unfold. Balaram is the assistant in Krishna's pleasure, but Krishna likes to give credit to Balaram. They entered the forest, and it was summer. Normally, summer is not appreciated in terms of its heat. But the Vrindavan forest is different. It's not like the heat waves that hit the USA. Did you know, amongst natural disasters, catastrophes, the #1 killer in the USA is not floods, it is not hurricanes, it is heat. But anyway, there's no global warming, so no worry about it. Summertime in Vrindavan, it should be hot. It should be unbearable. But wherever Krishna is, you only experience the positive effects of a particular season. Now let's try to understand the whole Vrindavan setup. This is explained by Kavi Karnapur. In various forests, you'll find various seasons prominent. So you can go to one forest and experience autumn, another forest and experience summer, another forest and experience spring, and some forests you go to have it all going on at once. This is how perfect and complete Krishna is. How can we compete with such enjoyment? But we try in material life. Ishtadvesha Subhattena Dvanda Mohena Bharata. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all of the entities are born in the material world with the dualities of Ichcha and Dvesha. We want to imitate Krishna, and we have an aversion, a hate of Krishna's instructions. So we have a desire, we're going to be like him, we're going to do what he does, he's the enjoyer, I'm the enjoyer too. And we have an aversion to Krishna's instructions. We try to compete with Krishna by being the controller and enjoyer. You may notice that as soon as you try to enjoy in the material world, you have to control. Because conditions and circumstances are always unwieldy, uncooperative, only apparently supporting, and there's always disappointment sooner or later down the track. So you have to control through finances, through physical strength, through material intellect, through connections, family, society. We struggle hard to squeeze out some pleasure. But Krishna's enjoyment, his energies provide all the facility he needs without his even being concerned about it. That's what it means for Krishna to have a Lila Shakti, a pastime potency. It arranges everything. his pastime energy allows Krishna and Balaram to forget that they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and just be gopas, cowherd boys. They really get into it. I'm a cowherd boy, Krishna says. Balaram's a cowherd boy. These are our cowherd boyfriends. We're all equal. We're having a good time. His energies arrange that. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is pointed out why Krishna and Balaram are the most beautiful in Vrindavan. Because they have the Nara Lila, the human-like pastimes. Even when they do something apparently inconceivable, it's all within humanness, so to speak. It's a chin-chat, inconceivable, at the same time human. Just like when Krishna kills Putana. How does he do it? Like a little baby, he sucks out her breast. So it's inconceivable. How can a little baby kill such a huge demonness? But he does it in a way that maintains humanness while at the same time being inconceivable. Or, you heard about Vatsasura being annihilated. Whirling him around. Krishna whirled him around by his back legs. And the demon lost his life through centrifugal force, and then Krishna into the trees. So this is what makes the Lila of Krishna and Balaram so attractive. Even when they do inconceivable things, it's all within the scope of Nara Lila. Although no human being could ever do what they're doing, still that sweetness of the human touch is there. And then their form, Naravapu, their human-like form. And Gopavesh, they dress as cowherd boys. Their form, their dress, fundamentally attractive. So when Krishna's going to the forest with Balaram, they decorate themselves with forest flowers, forest minerals. And they create springtime, even in the summer. What protects the Vrindavan forest from the ravages of heat? Please understand the various features that bring spring into the middle of summer. First of all, the wind. The Shastra explains that the wind blows particles of pollen like a thief is stealing. The wind steals pollen from the flowers and spreads it everywhere. But not only does the wind spread fragrance, it also spreads little droplets of water picked up from the streams and the lakes. So that helps keep Vrindavan cool in the forest. There are also trees, tall trees that offer such shade. Normally you would think, in such heat, the ground would be dry and parched and cracked. But because the rivers remain deep, the river banks are all full of moist mud that is so cooling, and therefore the grass surrounding the river banks continues to grow. So all this is going on for the pleasure of Krishna and Balaram as they sport with their cowherd boyfriends. And how do they sport? One thing you should know about Krishna and Balaram, they are known as Bihara Vit, the knowers of all games and sports. You see, we spoke briefly about this yesterday. Krishna's main activity in the forest is not herding cows. That's secondary. His main function in the forest is to play. He plays with his cowherd boys. And then there's some other confidential playing that we don't talk about so much in public. Krishna has his group of teenage admirers, and Balaram has his. So the herding of the cows is a cover. The acharyas put it that way. It's a cover meant to cheat ordinary human beings who can't understand these things. So this is how tactful and strategic Krishna is. So how are they playing? Viharavit, the knower of all sports and games. They throw fruits around. They have a special game in which they blindfold a cowherd boy, and then one puts his hands over the blindfolded eyes of the cowherd boy, and the cowherd boy, by the feel of the hands, has to guess who it is. They also whirl around like they're machines. They whirl around trying to make themselves dizzy. They have jumping contests. Who can jump higher? Who can jump higher? And Krishna and Balaram sing while the boys dance. And then sometimes the boys play musical instruments like buffalo horn, flutes, kartals, to encourage Krishna and Balaram in their dancing. So it's mutual. This is Sakya Rasa, love of Krishna in friendship, where everyone thinks we're equal, we're as good as the other. Just like sometimes, after seeing Krishna do something inconceivable, seeing Balaram do something inconceivable, what do the cowherd boys start thinking? This is our friend Krishna. Is he really our friend? Maybe. Maybe he's an extraordinary being. That's it. Maybe he's a demigod. But you know what that means? It means we're demigods too, because we're just as good as him. It's all logical. It all makes sense. So they're sporting with Krishna, jumping and dancing and whirling, and playing all kinds of games. It's supposed to be burning hot, but because it's Vrindavan, they're experiencing spring even in the summer. And another of Krishna's names is Madhava, which is a name for spring. So Madhava has entered the forest, so there's Madhava, there's spring. While they are sporting in this way, they notice a new cowherd boy is there. But actually, from ordinary vision, it was hard to notice that this is a new cowherd boy who's joined the group. Because Pralambari, that's going to be the name for Balaram. In dealing with Pralamba, the demon who infiltrated, Pralamba took the form of a cowherd boy who stayed home from the forest that day. So this demon thought, I got everything figured out. The master crime. With my wizardry powers, I will appear with the same looks as a cowherd boy who stayed home from the forest. Stayed home with his parents, didn't come. So, Krishna knew what was going on. How to deal with this situation. Krishna announced a special game. And the whole purpose of this game was to glorify Balaram. Balaram was going to get the honors for eventually dispatching Pralamba. And that's why Balaram has the name Pralambari, the enemy of the Pralamba demon. So, Krishna announced, we're going to play this game in which each cowherd boy squares off with another cowherd boy on the opposite side, and whatever side loses has to carry the winners on their shoulders. So, Krishna arranged it. He arranged the match so that the sides were even, because he wanted a maximum relishing of rasa. It's got to be a real game even though Krishna is actually rigging the game. How is he rigging the game? What do you say? He's throwing the match? That they say in India, the cricket match? He's throwing the match. He makes the sides even. And not only that, but you see, normally Krishna has cowherd boys under him, and Balaram has his own set of cowherd boys. Everyone's affectionate with everyone, but still, in the unity, there's variety. Just like Balaram has his girlfriends, Krishna has his girlfriends. So similarly, Krishna has his particular cowherd boys under his charge, Balaram has his, but everyone loves everyone. So, Krishna made sure that the sides were assorted. It's not that all Krishna's cowherd boys were on one side and Balaram's cowherd boys were on the other side. No, he mixed and matched them. Krishna arranged for his own side to lose, because the losers have to carry the winners on their shoulders. So Krishna's side lost, and that meant his side, which included Pralamba. Krishna let Pralamba be on his side. So his side included Pralamba and lost. So they had to carry the winning side. And that meant Pralamba carried Balaram. Now, why was Pralamba so focused on Balaram? Why not Krishna? Have you ever wondered that? Why did he spotlight Balaram? Krishna rigged the situation. Krishna made it so, the acharyas point out, that Pralamba wouldn't be able to see Balaram's full potency. He would underestimate Balaram as compared to Krishna. In that way, the demon would focus on Balaram, thinking, here's the weak link in the chain. Let's see how Krishna orchestrates everything. So Pralamba hoists on his shoulders Balaram, and the other losing cowherd boys hoist the winners on their shoulders. And they're just going as far as the Bandir tree. It's a huge banyan tree, and then coming back. But Pralamba has a different idea, has a different way. He wants to carry Balaram as far away as possible and deal with him away from Krishna, away from the cowherd boys. Pralamba thinks he's going to get rid of Balaram. So you know what happens. As he's carrying Balaram, he feels this enormous weight on his shoulders. He can't carry this weight. Balaram is becoming as heavy as Mount Sumer. If you want to know more about Mount Sumer, you'll have to study the 5th canto. It's very heavy. So, the demon loses his disguise under pressure, and he reveals his form as a huge, hideous demon. So, Balaram acts like he's a little fearful. How could Balaram be fearful? But try to understand, he's into being a cowherd boy. He's into being a Gopa, not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to enhance the Lila, Balaram shows a little worry and concern. Actually, his mood goes through 3 phases. First, he looks at the hideous demon who's revealed himself and laughs. Then he's astonished. Oh, what is this? And then a little worried. Why worried? There's several reasons. First of all, we explain he's totally into his bhava of being a cowherd boy. He's just a young child. Secondly, he's thinking, should I kill this demon? He took on the role of a cowherd boy and was on Krishna's side. Oh no, right? Is it moral? Is it right to terminate this person who took up the role as Krishna's friend and my friend? I don't know. But then he considered, my brother. Yes. What has my brother done? Putana was a woman. He finished him. Vatsasura was a calf. He finished him. He did then a rethink of his mission statement. I'm Balaram, Paritranaya Sarunam Vanasya Jadiskatam, in order to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. It's one of the reasons why I'm here. There's only one thing to do then. And just to help him embrace his mission statement, the acharyas point out that Krishna spoke to him. Oh, soul of souls! Have you forgotten and become so absorbed in your human-like pastimes? That's all Balaram needed to hear. So he dropped the wonder of his worry. How can I deal with this situation? I'm just a young cowherd boy. This demon masqueraded as a friend. Should I kill someone who's taken up the role of a friend? No, he dropped all that. And what did he immediately do? With his fist, as he rode upon the shoulders of the demon, he smashed Prahlada's head. And you have to relish all the details given in the Shastra. By the force of Balaram's single blow, Prahlada's forehead cracked open. Blood gushed from his mouth. Sometimes you may wonder, why are these details there in Balaram? We should just hear about the fragrance of the flowers. The beauty of the Vrindavan forest. But we want to be rasavit. We want to know the science of rasa, become qualified to do that. And that means we appreciate everything that Krishna and Balaram do. I remember once at the BBT, had a big art department in Los Angeles. I was in the English department. And Prabhupada wrote a letter complaining. Who is filling my books simply with pictures of Krishna dancing with the gopis? We want to see how Krishna controls everyone. Because you know, even in India today, so many people think Krishna is the Hindu forest love god, right? He's dancing with so many consorts. That's the thing they know most about Krishna. Every detail of Srimad Bhagavatam is relishable. So yes, think about Balaram's cracking of Prahlada's forehead. The blood gushing out from the mouth. The demon collapses to the ground, of course. Oh, he's already dead. And all the cowherd boys come running up. Are they horrified? No, they all congratulate Balaram. Sadhu, sadhu, well done, excellent, excellent. And then they offer benedictions to Balaram. May the affection between you two brothers, Krishna and Balaram, always increase. The cowherd boys are offering their blessings. May you always play together. Those are the best benedictions that the young boys can think of. Affection, forever playing together, forever in the forest. The demigods, of course, are celebrating because they knew they could not kill Prahlada. That's how powerful Prahlada was. In fact, some of the demigods, just to see this pastime, had taken the form of cowherd boys. Narada Muni did it, Lord Shiva did it, just to be up close to see all this happening. Again, you see the teamwork between Krishna and Balaram. Always remember how close they are. They're practically non-different Krishna is blackish blue, Balaram is whitish. Balaram wears bluish cloth, Krishna wears yellowish cloth. That's basically the only difference. This is how close they are. In these pastimes in the forest, you can see that. Whether it's Mother Yashoda trying to call both of them back for lunch, or their handling of Vatsasura and Pralamba. And we can never forget how these two lords have come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda. But as we move towards Sri Krishna Janmashtami, it's a very good time of the year for all of us to re-emphasize our dedication to hearing about Krishna and distributing Krishna's glories as a practical solution to our problems and the world's problems. This is the verdict of the first chapter of the 10th canto. Hearing about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, actually solves problems. Because we have the tendency to think, all right, I come to the mandir on Sunday, but I've got economic issues, I've got political issues, I've got family relationship issues. What does Krishna Katha, Balaram Katha have to deal with that? Sometimes we even say, Swamiji, please, those of us who live in the real world. But let me ask you, what is the real world? Who says what is the real world? Pritchett Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami are introducing you to the real world. But we're so bewildered by the illusory energy, we think that a world full of lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion, we think that's the real world, and you have to adapt to that. You have to cope with that, otherwise you'll lose the race. Not only will you lose the race, but you'll be trampled. I was speaking at Georgia Tech a few days ago, and we were talking about metaphors for evaluating our own life. And so I told the students, one popular metaphor is the race. You're running a race. Especially in the USA, you are guaranteed, supposedly, what? Life, liberty, and what? The race for happiness. You're not guaranteed to win. But you can race and exhaust yourself. As one comedian pointed out, why do they call it the American dream? Because you have to be asleep to believe it. So you've got a right to race for happiness. But how many are winning? And what happens? Not only if you lose, you're not number one, you're not number two, you're not number three, but if you actually lose the race, even worse, if you slip and fall, what happens then? I ask the students, if you stumble and fall in the race, then what? They reply with agony. You fall on the ground. I said, no, it gets even worse. You get trampled by all the runners. How horrible. So then I pointed out, how many of you students at Georgia Tech, when you were little kids, played the game musical chairs? In India also they played, right, musical chairs? Yeah. Who has played musical chairs when a child? Raise your hand. See, practically half the room. And I asked the students, don't worry, I won't ask you. I asked the students, do you remember the agonizing feeling when the music stopped and you didn't have a chair? Horrible, paranoia. You all remember. Some of you even tried to squeeze onto the chair that another kid was already occupying, right? Anything but to be left without a chair. My point is that the same paranoia is still with you. We've got to cope with the world. We've got to run the race. What does Krishna Katha Bhakti have to do with the practicality of racing in this world, playing the game of musical chairs. But hearing about Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, transforms your existence so that you can actually function in a spiritual way, even while within the material world. But there's often the fear that if I become too Krishna conscious, you've seen that warning in Bhagavad Gita about persons becoming too Krishna conscious? Remember Krishna says that? Watch it. Don't become too Krishna conscious. You've seen that verse? No one's seen that slogan. But we have it in our mind. If you become too spiritualized, you lose your competitiveness at the college, at the workplace. Because nice persons finish last. You have to know how to swim with the sharks. And if you become too Krishna conscious, you won't be able to do that. This is the fear we have in our mind. So we need to always remind ourselves of the scientific transformation possible through the bhakti process. Otherwise, we think it's just some kind of religious belief. Those from India believe like this, those from another place believe like that. But what process can actually transform the entirety of human existence? This is the unique contribution of the bhakti process. And this time of the year is a wonderful time for us to re-immerse ourselves in the transformative effects of hearing about Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, engaging in Krishna's service. So much opportunity. Balaram Jayanti, Janmashtami is coming. You've already done Julanyacha. Prabhupada's appearance day, Vyasa Puja is coming. And then Radhastami. It's almost like if we can't get it together this time of the year. We need to take more shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So I beg you, at this time of the year, let's rise above this stereotype that there's my religion and then there's my professional and home life. Bhagavad Gita does not recognize such a split. That's why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna is a family man and a military man. Yet Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to him, knowing that in the future we would make excuses like, oh Krishna, you spoke Bhagavad Gita to a brahmana, a sadhu, a saffronite, so therefore it doesn't apply to us. But Krishna knew you would make such excuses. Therefore he spoke to Arjuna, who's a grihasta, householder, fully practical occupation as a military man, administrative man. So let's take it straight on. Let's take Bhagavad Gita as it is straight into our life and allow ourselves to be transformed. There is no material solution that's going to work. We have to fuse, combine our occupational and family affairs with our spiritual development. And then you'll see the taste for hearing and chanting about Krishna increase. And we'll become realized, experienced devotees who can benefit ourselves, our family, and the whole world. Thank you very much. A few questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My when Balaram comes with Krishna, I mean when they descend, and also when he comes as Lakshman with Ram, the characteristic of Balaram is so much different from when he comes as Nityananda with Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Can you speak to that as to how there's a hell and heaven difference? Nityananda never gets upset, never ever shows his strength, and in fact he rolls on the dust begging people to chant. There's a totally different paradigm shift between Balaram as he is and Nityananda.
As well as a paradigm shift for Krishna. Krishna is very strict. You know what he says at the end of Bhagavad Gita, right? It frightens us all. Sarvadharma, abandon all varieties of what you think is dharma and just do what I say. Scary, right? Yet, we have a chance to engage in Krishna's service because that same Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and breaks all of Krishna's own rules. And Nityananda Prabhu is a prime carrier of that rule-breaking spirit. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, they're technically speaking not avatars. We loosely say like that, but they are the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna can break all his rules, and Nityananda Prabhu is a prime player in the rule breaking. Just give it all out. Even to persons who are unqualified, who know nothing about Krishna, just flood the world with it all. This shows how perfect and complete Krishna and Balaram are, that they can do this. You heard about their teamwork in the forest of Vrindavan. They also had their teamwork as Chaitanya and Nitai. This is how full Om Purnam they are. They can give themselves away to even those who are not qualified. So in one sense, yes, it's a paradigm shift. From another point of view, not. It's a display of their fullness. Anything else? Yeah?
It's the same action as Bhagavad Gita. If we have like a belief, but if you believe in 100%, you can get the result. And Nityananda Prabhu, he gave mercy for everybody equal, but when you get mercy, it's not equal because you defend your faith. If you not pay, then you cannot get the full result.
What is your question?
What is the like a Nityananda Prabhu gave Harinam for everybody, and everybody take it. But if you not pay, like a Shraddha Shabda Vishwas, this faith is not 100%. You cannot get result 100%.
You have to do your part. Nityananda Prabhu can saturate you with his mercy, but still you have to reciprocate. There's no force in love of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Why should he have forced love? You don't want forced love. Why should Krishna, the supreme enjoyer, have forced love? So you can be saturated with the flood of mercy, but still you have to respond. Okay? You have to use your tiny independence properly. What about the caste Brahmana who cursed Lord Chaitanya? You won't let me into the confidential kirtans at Srivas Angan, at the house of Srivas. I can't see those nighttime kirtans because I'm supposedly not qualified. I'm just an external ritualistic Brahmana, caste Brahmana. You won't let me in? I curse you. Took out his Brahman's red. May you never experience material happiness. And what was Mahaprabhu's response? Sounds frightening to us, doesn't it? What kind of Brahmana was that? He was face to face with Mahaprabhu. You still have your choice. Anything? All right. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj ki jai. So we will continue with our program. I'd like to request Hina Ben Patel and family to please come to perform the Arati. Kunal Saha and family to please come along with your family. Shyam Bihari Prabhu and family to please come. Also, we'd like to have Brajeshwari Antaji to please come with your family to perform the Arati. I also, some of you saw him walk in. He just arrived here from Alachua, Florida. So let's raise our hands and welcome Radha Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you like this book, please come and see Shweta Shuru Prabhu, and Maharaj will put an autograph in the book while he is here.
7 o'clock.
Shastra Krit Prabhu.
We'll do that at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, you'll be back here for the kirtan. Krishna Govinda Govinda Krishna Govinda Krishna Hare Atlanta, Georgia from Indianapolis, and they wanted the blessings and the prayers of all the Vaishnavas that they have a good stay here in Atlanta. Can we do that for them? So if we could please raise both our hands, we're going to pray to their lordships, Shri Shri Gauranitai, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, and Shri Shri Radha Madhur Mohan. Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Now, so Shami Hari Prabhu and Mataji are sponsoring the feast to celebrate the birthday of Sujay and Punam. Punam turns 25 and Sujay becomes 19 years old today. Those are both two children who grew up in this temple, and then one of them graduated from Georgia Tech and moved on to DC to be with her family, and Sujay is still in school. So they're celebrating their birthday here. So since they're not here, we need to send your blessings and your prayers to both Punam and Sujay.
As you all know, today is also Raksha Bandhan, and my three sisters in India, they never ever forget me, even though I'm so many miles away. So if you are good, please pray for them too. Thank you so much.
So three sisters, nice package deals. Three sisters, and then we have the son and the daughter. Is that a good idea? Yes. You have to be smart when you get the blessings. So if you could all please raise our hands. We're going to pray for the three sisters in India and Punam and Sujay. Are we ready? Yes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Now I would like to request Kunal Saha and family to please come. They're sponsoring the Sunday feast because their celebrating the birthday of their daughter, and her name is Anushri Saha, and she turns 18 today. So she can officially drive. So we're going to sing happy birthday to Anushri. Will you remember her name? What is your name? Someone said Tanushri. Is A with an Anushri. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anushri. Happy birthday to you. Raise both your hands, we're going to bless her. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, She needed some help to cut the cake, so can we all say Hari Bol? Ready? Loud. Hari Bol. 3 times. One more time. So, the parents want some special prayers and blessings that Anushri can continue with her journey in school, and that she will continue to remain a good human being and servant of Krishna. So if we could all please raise our hands one more time. I'm going to pray to their lordships, Shushi Gauranitai, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, and Radha Madan Mohan. Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So now I'd like to request one of our Atlanta devotees. Her name is Brajeshwari, and she turned 16 today. So we're celebrating her 16th birthday here. So Brajeshwari decided she also wants the blessings and the prayers of all the devotees who are sitting here. She's celebrating her Putamala. This is straight from Sri Radha Madan Mohan. Sikha Mahendra will help you. Hari Bol. So any special prayers, Brajeshwari?
Thank you very much. My prayer is that I get very fixed up in my Krishna consciousness and my sadhana, and I'm able to do Brahma Muhurta Japa every day. This is my prayer. I'm not there yet, but I sincerely pray for that strength, and also for more service opportunities to Radha Madan Mohan. And because Maharaj is here, I seek his blessings to do Brajmandal Parikrama this year.
So she wants to do Brajamandal Parikrama, that is 1 month walking on your foot, barefoot.
600 kilometers.
Only 600 kilometers, very easy. Everybody can do it. So, we're going to pray to their lordships that Brajeshwari can do Brahma Muhurta Japa. That means she can do her Japa early morning, just before the sunrise. Is the ideal time to do Japa. She has a huge package deal she also asked for. And that she can serve Radha Madan Mohan more closely. And the third one is that she can do Brajamandal Parikrama. So three requests. Can we pray for those 3 requests? So please raise your hand. We're going to pray to their lordships. Shri Shri Gauranga Nitai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi, and Radha Madan Mohan. Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to give you a few updates. Since Radharaman Maharaj is here, he will be speaking for the next 3 days here in Atlanta. So those of you who are on the mailing list will get all the details of the locations and the topic. And the topic will mainly focus on the appearance of Lord Krishna and the different intricacies and the different versions of Krishna's appearance that you will hear from Radharaman Maharaj. For those of you who do not know, he organizes the yatra, the pilgrimage every year in Vrindavan. That's the place where Krishna was born on this earthly planet. And it's 600 kilometers, 1 month. And he's been organizing it for almost 2 decades. That's why you can see he's very skinny, because he does a lot of walking. So please stay tuned for the Janmashtami lectures. So for Janmashtami service, different people have come forward to participate in Janmashtami. We have Pratap Singh Chauhan and family. They sponsored the midnight arati. You can say Haribol when I finish all the names. When I finish the full list of names. Otherwise it will take us too long. We want to make sure you get to Prashad. And then we have Dr. Vivek is doing the arati, second row. Mihir Brahma Bhatt is doing the Abhishek. And Badal Roy doing the Abhishek. Vamsi Reddy, Abhishek. Pranavi Sanvi Yaram Shetty for the Abhishek. Vilash Palit, Abhishek. KB Srinivas and family. Revati Mataji and family. Devamrita Swami Maharaj will be here to do the Abhishek. And Ananta and Usha family. And then we have Vijay and family, Shekhar and family. So these are all the devotees who have come forward to be involved in the Abhishekam ceremony, where Krishna will be bathed with so many different auspicious items and herbs. So there is some facilities for service that are still available. I just wanted to read you out. For midnight Maha Arati, there are still spaces available if you wanted to participate. Who here has bathed Krishna at midnight? Raise your hand if you have bathed him after he was born. Raise your hand if you have. Those that have bathed Krishna before in Atlanta on his Janmashtami day, raise your hand. Okay, I want to repeat myself because I don't think I'm making myself clear. Every year during Janmashtami we bathe Krishna, correct? Yes?
Yes.
And who has bathed him previous years? Raise your hand. Who has never bathed Krishna on Janmashtami? Raise your hand. Who has no idea what I'm talking about? So anyway, what happens is when a baby is born, he is bathed. If you didn't know, you ask your mom, she will tell you that when you were born, they put you in a little tub and they bathe you with some nice tap water. And it's normally filled with chlorine, but they bathe you. So when Krishna was born, then all the demigods and all the saints and the sages, they all came to bathe Krishna. And they came to bathe Krishna with waters from all the holy rivers. And they brought so many scented flowers and they put it in the water and they bathed him. And they bathed him with flowers. And they bathed him with Panchamrita, 5 products that come, nectarian ingredients. And then Panchagavya, 5 items that are derived from the cow. So many different items. Some bathing with coconut. So every idea, auspicious items, pure items that you can think of, Krishna was bathed in. So on this day of Janmashtami, what happens is all of you get an opportunity to come and have very close personal time with Krishna. Normally here, you will see he's a little far, but on Janmashtami day, he's right there in front of you. That happens once a year. So, the temple provides the facility for all of you to come very close to Krishna. Who wants to be close to Krishna? Who doesn't want to be close to Krishna? So anyway, the celebration is happening all over the world. There's going to be approximately 1 billion people in the world that will be celebrating Janmashtami. Is Rangesh here? He is from the Middle East. And he was telling me how in the Middle East when they do Janmashtami, there is 20,000-30,000 people that come to celebrate Janmashtami. And then in London, there is almost around 80,000 people. Just the temple in London, they have 80,000 people that come to celebrate Janmashtami. So here in Atlanta, we get roughly around 2,000 to 3,000 people that come to celebrate Janmashtami. There's 20 temples in Atlanta, but everybody knows that this is the temple called the Krishna temple. All the other temples have so many different names, but this is the Krishna temple, so everyone comes here for Janmashtami. So that one day, everyone gets an opportunity to come and bathe Krishna. So who would like to bathe, who has not bathed? Krishna. So we'll have Lila, he will come and bathe Krishna. Who else? Anyone else? Everyone else is thinking. Okay, you can come and see Shweta Prabhu. He will take your name down. He can put his name down, Leo. Leonardo. And anyone else would like to bathe Krishna? Anyway, there are a lot of other facilities, opportunities for you to come and do some service on the Janmashtami day. What's your name? I don't think anyone else? I didn't see any names. I think we already have around 50 people, 50 families. Haridas and Nitai. This Haridas and Nitai are beautiful young children. I think they're 6 and 1, Mataji? 1.5. So 6 and 1.5. They'll get some very close time with Krishna. Anyone else? Okay, so I request you to please just meditate on this. The Janmashtami schedule. Janmashtami schedule is that we're going to start with an arati that starts at 4:30 a.m. And then all throughout the day you can come, you can chant, you can meditate, you can come and do services. Because our goal is that one day we're going to feed approximately 3,000 people, individuals, with a big feast. So we will need a lot of help with serving prasadam, cooking, cutting, prepping, and picking up the trash that they will leave behind. So if anybody would like to do some service for Janmashtami, you can come and see me, you can see Shweta Prabhu, and we will be able to engage you in service. There's a lot of services that will be required on that day. So Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav Ki Jai! Keep in mind, the evening programs on the stage starts at 6 p.m. and goes on till 11. Drama, dance competition, kirtans, bhajans, pravachan, all this will be going on the stage. And then the main Abhishek will also happen on the stage. And then at midnight is when the main Arati happens. That's when Krishna was born. So then we'll have an Arati here in the temple. The following day is the appearance of Srila Prabhupada, which we'll also be celebrating here in the temple, starting at 11 a.m. So please pencil those dates in your calendar, and we'll see you soon. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav Ki Jai! Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai! Please come and have the last darshan.